We are ready to go tonight at Jobbing.com Arena. Kings in town. It's the Coyotes and Kings for the second meeting of the season. Goaltenders in this one for the Coyotes, number 41, Mike Smith. 6-2-2 with a goals against average of 3.17. And at the other end, the backup, the Cornellian, Ben Scrivens. This season 1-0 with a stingy 1.22 goals against average saves percentage at .939. The referees here tonight, Dean Morton and Brad Watson. And the linesmen are Lonnie Cameron and Derek Nansen. So we are set to go. Coyotes mounting a comeback last week, Tyson, only to fall short at Staples Center on Thursday night after tying it up with 4 unanswered goals. We'll see if they can tighten it up a little bit defensively. That's really been the mantra, the battle cry over the last several days around here.
Yeah, absolutely. On practice, they worked on their defensive zone coverage. I'm sure Dave Tippett had, there was a lot of meetings yesterday and again today at pregame skates. So quick starts is the key tonight.
Bit of a short-handed lineup here, too, for the Coyotes. The big news, Martin Hansel suspended for 2 games on due to his hit on Dan Petrie on Saturday afternoon when Edmonton was here. As this one will be played right back in by Matt Green. And Mike Smith will play it in behind the net. Back to center for Moss, and he'll flip one in.
You know, all those injuries for the Phoenix Coyotes, LA is not going to feel sorry for them. They're going to be coming hard early in this game.
Kings have been a mirror image, whether it's at home or on the road. They're a 4-2 at Staples, 4-2 on the road so far this season. And like the Coyotes, they've already done one of the Eastern junkets. They did that early in the season as McCulloch sent one in, and Scrivens makes the save, and that'll get the face-off. Dave Tippett is the head coach of the Coyotes. He said, you know, lots of goals are fun, but you can't win consistently if you're playing like that. They'll try to tighten it up here tonight against the Los Angeles Kings. I would have to agree with him.
Recipe for disaster is what he called it. You're playing with fire. That's a slippery slope. Coyotes are scoring a boatload of goals, but you know that's going to eventually slow up, so you have to defend in the layers that they always talk about. That has not been the case. And Mike Smith, he plain and simple, he needs to be better.
Now, Coyotes hockey is not 5-4 come from behind. It's more like 3-2-2-1. And we've seen what they can do when they are tight defensively, and it's moved along by Dwight King, and he'll send one in. Played off the end boards by Smith. He'll curl it around in behind the net. Coyotes will get it all the way back inside the Los Angeles zone.
And I think this coaching staff is really hoping guys like Swartz and Neely and Kennedy really provide some energy to make up for the loss of the foot soldiers, as we call them.
Carter with a shot, and Smith makes the save, and that'll give us a chance to take a look at your keys to the game, Tyson. They're brought to you by Sanderson Ford.
Well, the Coyotes had success last game against LA because of that forechecking pressure. Guys like Klinkhammer, you got to make sure you make those defensemen pay. Special teams are going to be crucial here tonight. I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of offense with a guy like Hansel out of the lineup. The chemistry, lines have been changed. And again, Mike Smith, we talked about it. He needs to be a little bit better. He tries to wind back into form. We have seen spectacular play out of Smith.
Shot in the glove save off the rebound. Mike Smith got that one ticketed for the upper corner from Jeff Carter. So we'll get another face-off. One of the lines that remains intact tonight is the Vermette line with Klinkhammer and Doan. So I guess you could probably call that the top line here tonight for the Coyotes.
Yeah, this is the line that really needs to establish that forecheck early.
Cutting in behind the net, they throw to the front, and Mitchell the shot on, and a stop by goaltender Mike Smith. Boy, that time William Mitchell, who's not known for his offense, was able to sneak down. Got off a good look there on Mike Smith, as Jeff Carter now at the other end will look to get it out, but he can't. And a shot on. They stopped that time by Ben Scrivens. They're going to play Scrivens tonight. I would imagine tomorrow night in their game against San Jose, the Sharks will see Jonathan Quick. That game back at Staples, so they got a quick turnaround here as this one is fired wide by Carter and sent all the way up the ice. No icing, Jake Muzzin that time, sideswiping a hit from Paul Bissonnette. Chinchilla goes after him, 4th unit out there right now, and Swartz is out there for the Coyotes. His first National Hockey League shift. His mom and dad in Naples, Florida on vacation. They cut that short. And they were expected to be here in attendance tonight to watch their son, and he gets off a great shot on Scrivens as that's kicked aside. Another chance as he'll fire it to the line, and Stone with a shot, and Scrivens the save. So good early pressure here out of the Coyotes.
Yeah, real good forechecking pressure as we talked about here, the fourth line. But this is where we talked about defending better. Off a face-off, you'll see the captain, Shane Doan. He gets running around. Stop it here. This is his guy right here. He's way too low in this area. That's not where he needs to be. You got to have your head on a swivel. Mitchell jumps in. He recognizes that there's a lane there. And that's what the Coyotes have to stay away from. Shane Doan trying to get things going for his team, leads by example. I'm sure he was looking for a big hit, but that's where you really just need to sit back, just worry about your own job.
You mentioned big hit, and that's so common when these two teams meet, Tyson, is Moss Allen on the faceoff after Mealy got chased. And we didn't see a lot of that in the game in Los Angeles. I mean, there were a lot of hits, but you know, as Coyotes games go, I don't think it was anything out of the ordinary, as this one's going to be played back by Dustin Brown.
No, not at all. And that's why the Coyotes were down 4-0. When they're involved.
Stoll, side of the net. Now we get a whistle here. Looks like a penalty coming up. Looks like maybe an elbow.
It's Derek Morris going to the box.
Now Morris is going to head to the penalty box.
And I was just going to say, when you're involved physically, look at Martin Hanzal. There's no secret to why Martin Hanzal, as you look at the penalty here, Derek Morris just a little high hit. Brown with the head snap, of course, as we always know that he does. But Martin Hanzal is having success this year because he's engaged. Early in games, he leads the Phoenix Coyotes in hits. I think he's top 5 in the National Hockey League in hits as well. Just brings out the best in him.
Played all the way down the length of the ice, so Morris goes for roughing. And if you go back to that game last Thursday in Los Angeles, it was Antoine Vermette taking a penalty in the opening minute of a hockey game, and that certainly didn't bode well for the Coyotes. Kind of a trend or tone setter, I should say. Hopefully not the case here tonight with this Morris penalty, as it'll be played into the corner for Jeff Carter. But taken away nicely there, and David Moss will get it up the ice and out of the zone all the way down.
Yeah, LA struggling, 0 for 13 on the road. Just have not found that chemistry for whatever reason.
Back over the line, Brown. Challenged that time by McCulloch. Coyotes with numbers along the near boards. But back to the line for Slava Voinov. Coyotes trying to get it out. Andrei Kopitar. Good keep, Voinov. And across. And now he gets it right back, but that's knocked away. And Bodker will play it all the way back inside the LA zone and deep.
Very aggressive. Nice job there by Ribeiro and Mikhail Bodker. One bobble, you jump on it.
Back and over the line, but the Kings are offside. Still looking for their first shot on this power play with 49 seconds remaining.
Well, that game the other night against the Kings, they get a lot of pucks to their points and shots. You look at Bodker and Ribeiro, they're up nice and tight, taking away that time and space. That's good stuff right there.
Goal in the last 5 games for the penalty kill. Muzzin for Los Angeles. They'll set it up with 45 to go in their power play. Stoll sends one in. Smith will play it behind the net, and he clears it all the way down the length of the ice.
Again, 4 guys across the blue line. You force that dump in for the Los Angeles Kings, and what do? They dump it right to the goaltender. One of the best puck movers in the game.
Stoll gets it in over the line. 2 on him, but Stoll gets it and sets it up at the line. Nobody there. Kopitar laid to the right point, and it'll go all the way down the length. Still no shots on this LA power play with 12 seconds remaining.
Not even close. This is something the Coyotes can build some momentum off of.
Willie Mitchell will bring it back and over the line. Playing it in behind the net. Smith will let it go off the dasher as Lewis looks to set it up. Ribeiro's going to take it away, and the Coyotes are back to full strength. Morris out of the box. Stayed onside, was interfered with. Play rolls on as Jordan Nolan will get it in over the line, and that's blocked away. Here's a shot off a free play there by Lewis. Now to the corner it goes. Ekman Larsson can't move it along, but it's Derek Morris, and he'll get it out back through center. And Derek Morris was trying to stay onside on that play, Tyson. He got interfered with, but play rolls on as this one is going to be taken by the Kings, and Dwight King will get it out for Jordan Nolan. Good takeaway that time by Schlemko. Great stick that time. Nearly too many men on the ice for the Kings. And they'll set it up. Drew Doughty got it across center. Picked off that time, but Schlemko that time can't move it along, and so it's taken away, and the Coyotes will get it out. Here they come. Klinkhammer now. In over the line, looking that time for Mealy. Mealy will give chase into the corner. Now we get a whistle here. And we will step out. No score early on tonight. Talked about the shorthanded lineup, the big name out tonight. Martin Hanzal got a 2-gamer for this hit on Jeff Petrie in the game Saturday when the Edmonton Oilers were here. Never easy to take a player out of the lineup against a heavy team like LA, especially when that player goes 6'6", 230 pounds. He's gone for 2, and the offensive numbers, Tyson, off the charts.
Yeah, he leads this Phoenix Coyotes team in almost every category. You're going to miss that big body, particularly on the penalty kill and then the power play. Look at his presence in front of the goaltender. That's where he gets a lot of his goals.
Mike Richards is in the penalty box, so our first Arizona Lottery Powerball power play of the evening. And when you're talking about a shorthanded lineup and changes in the lineup, you look to special teams. We'll see if the Coyotes can cash in here and get an early lead against the Kings. That one taken away and cleared all the way back down the ice.
Yeah, what an opportunity here on the power play. But again, this is where you really miss Martin Hanzal. But with a suspension, injury, whatever the case may be, is an opportunity for someone else.
Ekman Larsson will play it in behind the net. And now he can't keep it at the left point as it's cleared all the way down the length of the ice.
And much like LA's power play, the Phoenix Coyotes now put it right to Scrivens. You got to keep the puck away from the goaltender. You have to be able to get that first touch when you dump that puck in.
Verbato will send one in. It goes to the corner. Drew Doughty is there killing the penalty, and he sends all the way down. So the Coyote power play trying to get on track here. Schlemko out there with Derek Morse, and up front they go with Shane Doan. And he's joined out there by Antoine Vermette and Andy Mealy. Mealy chips it in behind the net. Brodeur looks to take it away, and back to the line. Schlemko, good keep. Got it into the right wing corner. It gets cleared out of there and all the way back to the neutral zone. Now back it over the line for Doan. They'll look to set it up there for Vermette to the line. Morris passes. Vermette got it to the middle. Back out high. Morris looking for a lane side of the net. Oh, and Vermette wanted to deflect it. It goes back out. Schlemko shoots and a stop by Scrivens. Morris with a shot. Then another stop by Scrivens.
Oh, big saves there by Scrivens. Good job shooting that puck. Traffic in front. Shane Doan both times right there on the doorstep.
Schlemko at the line and across for Morris. Penalty now over. Coyotes with Mealy with a shot. Rebound fanning out. It was Vermette. Initial shot, Mealy. Vermette looking for the rebound. Puck played down, and we get an icing call. So 2 shots, and at the latter stages of that power play, excellent movement, Tyson.
Yeah, juicy rebounds there by Scrivens, too. There's the shots right away. Back to the point and rip it. You look at the traffic in front. Off to the side of the net. And then Schlemko finds a lane, takes that puck to the middle of the ice. And then Derek Morris as well, both times with Shane Doan in front, Mealy as well, but you have to get right in front of the goaltender. Not off to the side looking for the deflection. It's screen first, then deflect, then rebound in that order. That's how Dave Tippett wants his players with that front net presence focused on.
And again, no Martin Hanzal, no 6'6" Marty Hanzal in front, as this one's going to be played all the way back. So neither team able to score on the power play. Both teams 0 for 1 with a man advantage, and no score with 8.5 gone in this opening period here tonight from Glendale.
A big difference. He goes 6'6" in front of the net with Martin Hanzal to 5'9" with Andy Mealy.
Just a little bit different as it's played in behind the net. Dustin Brown tied up there with Kyle Chikchura. Back in the line for Drew Doughty. Jake Muzzin tries to work it to the middle. We saw a lot of this at Staples Center the other night as this one is deflected wide by Andrzej Kopitar. Now Zbynek McCollum will play it in behind the net. That time a penalty. Let's see here. A penalty in behind the play. Paul Bissonnette got slashed, but I think they're going to get both of them here.
I think it's just Bissonnette. They got both doors open.
I thought they were going to get embellishment on Bissonnette. Well, hold on. They are conferencing.
Oh,
yeah, it'll be 4-on-4. The initial slash was against Drew Doughty. What happened to the left side of goaltender Mike Smith? Yeah, Doughty with the initial.
Good exchange there. The Coyotes will take it. Bissonnette for Doughty. One of the Kings' best players on their back end. Moves the clock, 4 points in his last 4 games. And Paul Bissonnette, 3 points on the season, but I think they want a little bit more sandpaper on him. A little more grit. More like that. Get in the face of the opposition. You have to have a fight this year, I believe. Get in there, stir things up again. Have the fights come to you. I promise you, you run someone through the boards.
Bissonnette got 2 for the dive, although I never saw a dive. If anything, you would think it would be embellishment. But anyways, we roll on a 4-on-4. Over the line, Yandel. Now back of the line, played by Doan. He'll send one in behind the net. Vermette is there, but it's played to the corner for Slava Voinov. And now the Kings will bring it out. Willie Mitchell, rink wide, back it over the line for Jeff Carter. And now Morris goes after it. Mitchell has it. He's doing a lot of good jobs in terms of switching here. And now Carter to the corner. Try to work it in front. Richards trying to wrap around it. Stopped by Smith. And a rebound ends up in behind the net. Oh, Carter was just hanging out in front and got a great look there.
And the key to that play was Richards. That small net, the net is not as deep, so you can do those wraparounds now.
Bravada has it. Over the line, he'll take a shot, and Scrivens the save, and that'll get an offensive zone faceoff. Well, the new season of The Ultimate Fighter is powerful, relentless, and epic, and it's just getting started. Catch the show critics say delivers the goods. Get hooked on the show everyone is talking about with a marathon of The Ultimate Fighter starting Tuesday at 7 Eastern. Then catch an all-new episode Wednesday at 10 Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1. Robin Regehr has to retreat. Ribeiro on him. Mike Ribeiro's been so good early on for the Coyotes, although a little bit quiet in that game Saturday against Edmonton. Played all the way down, and we get an icing here against Los Angeles.
Well, they need him here tonight. I'll tell you that. No Hansel, no Bukowski. Where you need your big boys to come to play. Moss, love to get on the board as well. 3 points in 12 games. That big body, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, one of those leaders from the back end. Keith Yandel, 6 points in his last 3 games. Catching fire as well.
In behind the net. Bouncing puck to the front. Oh, and nearly there was Andy Mealy, but it went to his backhand side.
Oh, here's the right-hander. That's in the back of the net.
Played back. Now Brown. Good support there by Mealy. Looks more comfortable in the early going already.
And that's the stuff you touched on in the pregame show. Was me that we talked to Dave King today. Very happy with his all-around game. When he first came into the league, he was just one-dimensional, all offense. But you can't survive in the NHL without playing good defense. And that's what he's gone down there and worked on. Got 8 points in, I believe, 6 games down in Portland. Very much deserving of this call-up.
Dave King, the development coach of the Coyotes, and he went on to talk about how Andy Mealy's down-low 3-on-3 play has really improved. As this one's going to be moved along and played all the way back where Mike Smith is going to cover up, and this will get a face-off. Well, this one you were talking about, Mike Richards, so dangerous around the cage with that extra room, giving him a chance here.
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of emotions that come with your, NHL debut, and I think I just got to put all those emotions aside and have the mindset that it's just another game. It is my NHL debut, but I just got to play it like it's just a game.
Jordan Schwartzman, our background quote of the game on his National Hockey League debut, almost made the team out of camp, as Matt and Tyson talked about on our pregame show. Interesting to hear Brad Treliving, the assistant general manager of the Coyotes, say that he's the kind of guy that just drips with character. A 22-year-old captain. There you see his mom and his stepdad. His mom was on vacation in Florida. The Coyotes flew them to Phoenix. That is part of the tradition here with the Phoenix Coyotes. I just think it's a classy move to make sure the family is involved.
Klinkhammer with a bid there. And Scrivens kicks it away.
Well, absolutely. Great job by the Coyotes. First class all the way.
Played back to the line. Delayed call coming up. Stone with a shot. Scrivens the save. Into the corner. Delayed call. And now Clifford touches up. And the Kings are guilty of a hooking penalty here.
Too much speed. Well, going back to the Swartz, This is your first game. Just another game. Are you kidding me? Enjoy it. Energy.
Number 28, minor penalty.
Feed off of it. Nice job, though, by Klinkhammer. Winning the foot races right there leads to a scoring chance. Another big save by Scrivens, and there was the hook there by Stoll on Vermette. Keep moving your feet along the boards. Win the battles. All the things the Coyotes talked about at length this morning.
Scrivens will steer this one to the side. Coyotes 0 for 1 with a couple of shots on goal. It's another Arizona Lottery Powerball power play. Well, you know, he's a modest lad getting back to Schwartz, because this one's going to be turned out. Now Yandel just trying to swat away at a great stick that time by number 3.
Yeah, too fast. Keith Yandel wins that foot race.
Ramada tries to chip it over to teammate Mike Ribeiro, and it's cleared down the lane.
A little bit too cute. Phoenix Coyotes have 3 power play goals in their last 3 games. You start feeling good, getting some confidence, but you have to remember why you're having success. Keep it simple.
Lewis will pick this one off, and he sends down the length. Minute 12 remaining in the Coyotes power play. Yandel through center. And over the line, he takes a shot off netting, and we'll get a whistle. We'll mark the faceoff coming inside the Kings zone.
We just talked about Keith Yandel. Watch Keith Yandel on the ice that he covers. The speed. Beats Carter to that loose puck. Good stick. Just a good job by Keith Yandel. All about instincts. Closing the gap. Really make up for a lot of mistakes because of that speed.
He's right in the middle of that scoring parade on the back end. 6 points in his last 3 for Yandel.
Catching fire, no doubt.
Morris across. Schlemko. Morris looks for a lane, and that goes off a body and over the glass and out of play.
How about Kopitar? That's their top player, blocking shots, getting in lanes, sacrificing, doing the things it takes to win hockey games. And Derek Morris, he can shoot the puck. You want to get in front of that shot is look at Kopitar's numbers, but Derek Morris, 7 points in his last 10 games.
Coyotes clean win on the face-off. Schlemko over to Morris. And now Schlemko across. Andy Mealy looks to set it up. Mealy looking around, trying to maybe draw a couple of players out high. Schlemko, that shot blocked. Here's a chance. It rolls right in. Right there was Mealy, but he can't get it past Scrivens. Oh, he was just looking around for the junk that time created by Antoine Vermette down low. Captain was in there.
Andy Mealy, 5'9", 180 pounds. There's the shot. And the wraparound here by Vermette just throws it on. Hits Green's right leg. Couple bounces, like pinball out there. You look at the save by Scrivens again. He is in a zone right now for the LA Kings. No quick. An opportunity.
At the line. Now Vermette, quick pass across. Ekman-Larsson, wrister deflected in front by Moss, but Scrivens got a piece. Vermette will chase this one down. Drew Doughty plays it in behind the net. Good keep here, Ribeiro. Out high, Ekman-Larsson. Got one on, he scores! Through about a pack of 6 bodies, but hold on.
No goal. Right away, the referee called this one. As I believe it's Drew Doughty fell right into Scrivens. Knocked him over, redirect by Vermette. So no goal, incidental contact.
Antoine Vermette, they say incidental contact.
We'll take a look here. Puck back to the point, watch. 50 in front. Oh, not much of a push there. Oh, one hand. Doughty's they're just fighting for position in front of Scrivens. And Doughty just loses his balance. They're both selling it there. Oliver Ekman-Larsson didn't like it, I can tell you that. Perfect shot, though, by Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
Yeah, unbelievable that it got through. The call made by referee Dean Morton. So back to full strength. Puck is moved out. Kyle Clifford will get it back through center. They had 2 shots on the man advantage. Good angle off play that time by Michael Stone. Klinkhammer working it along the boards. And the Coyotes will get it out. Klinkhammer now. Lost one into the corner. Scrivens will let that go. Boy, Mitchell in a battle. Kyle Chipchura down low as well, and Slava Voinov is trying to free it for Dustin Brown.
That's one thing LA has is one big stay-at-home defenseman on every pairing on that back end. A puck mover and a defenseman that's real hard to play against.
Chipchura wanting a piece of Brown. Matt Green comes over, no sale.
That was the end of a long shift for Chipchura.
Now we get a whistle here. Evidently a puck played with a high stick. Kyle Chipchura trying to stir the pot here tonight in Glendale. No score. We're back. Here's some of the injuries we've been talking about here tonight. Lori Korpikoski, he's probable, we understand, for Thursday's game against Nashville. We'll have to wait and see upper body. Rusty Klesla also on injured reserve, lower body, and Jeff Halpern's day-to-day, although as Todd Walsh pointed out, the Coyotes live tonight, it doesn't sound to be all that serious with Halpern. Still 3 big cogs out of the lineup for head coach Dave Tippett in a battle here tonight against the Los Angeles Kings, who haven't garnered a shot in the last 7:35. So I think message received maybe, and we heard about that on Coyotes Live when Jody Jackson was talking to Jim Playfair tonight.
Yeah, they've been shorthanded a couple times too. You have to remember it's been all Coyotes. A disallowed goal as well, but they want to keep their foot on that gas pedal. Keep coming hard. That forechecking pressure, we're starting to see it. We're starting to see pucks be turned over, and you're starting to see the LA Kings take penalties because of it.
Turnover here, and it goes right to the net and stopped by Smith. And Oliver Ekman-Larsson will look to move it along as he stretches it through center, and this one is flipped right back along, and a penalty coming up here. And now we're going to get a fight. It's going to be Klinkhammer, I believe, John McLove and Justin Williams.
Doughty. I gotta see a replay of this. A little extra there by Klinkhammer. On Doughty. We'll see it here. Doughty comes in. There's the cross check. Just kind of slides up, but come on. Really?
My goodness.
I'm not sure why he's holding his head. It didn't hit him in the face. And then Williams comes over. So a little,
14, 2 roughing.
the embellishment continues.
36 Phoenix, 2 high sticking, 2 roughing.
Embellishments continue, and it's going to be the Phoenix Coyotes shorthanded.
Yeah.
Klinkhammer gets 2 for rough, 2 for high sticking. Williams just 2 for the rough.
And the retaliation. And
Dave Tippett doesn't like it. He saw the replay on the Jumbotron. And Klinkhammer definitely comes up high with the stick, but it doesn't come anywhere close to Doughty's head. And Doughty should be embarrassed right there. I hope the
it rolled
Coyotes...
on his back. And if anything, Doughty got the elbow up to protect himself.
I hope that the Coyotes send this into the league, because this is the stuff that has to stop. And Dave Tippett has given it to the referee about the embellishment.
High stick and a rough to Klinkhammer, and just a rough to Justin Williams.
Because ultimately, Doughty is embarrassing the referee in that case. The referee's going to see that later, and then you're not going to get that call.
Muzzin set on. Smith the save. King will take it away. And it all means in Los Angeles. Power play to the front. Kopitar is robbed by Mike Smith. Oh, he got free right in front. And Smith makes a huge save. And I think Kopitar is saying nice save.
Wow. Or something else. We're not lip readers up here, but good puck movement by the LA Kings. Brown, good vision to find Kopitar right in front. That's where the LA Kings want that puck. Coyotes need to do a better job defending. That's the most dangerous guy on the ice. Brown's not going to score below the goal line. Kopitar will. Right there in the slot. That is a scoring area. Short-handed or not.
Well, the Beat LA chant goes up here tonight at jobbing.com. Arena Muzzin locked up. There's a penalty coming up here. Moss just kept those feet moving. And the parade to the penalty box will continue. Good draw there by Dave Moss.
Yeah, Daryl Sutter will not be happy with this penalty by Muzzin. Good pressure there by Moss. And Muzzin just kind of takes him down. They'll get that one every time. Interference, trip, whatever you want to call it. You just got to let it go. You got Voinov coming back to protect you. It's just a one-on-one anyway. You're not going to beat a guy one-on-one in the NHL. Yeah, that's a tough task. Good job there by Dave Moss, though, on the penalty kill. 4-on-4 coming up.
Ribeiro and Vrbata are the forwards in the 4-on-4. Ekman-Larsson and McCulloch defensively for Dave Tippett.
Oh. Is that a penalty? That's a penalty. That's
that's a penalty against
Stoll.
LA's Jared Stoll.
One of the new rules here. You watch the free hand right there come down. Right there.
28, 2 minutes.
Good call by the linesman. Great call by the linesman to pick that one up.
So a 4-on-3 here. For a minute 31, and then the Coyotes will briefly go to a 5-on-3.
Oh, talk about room out there on the ice. Watch Ribeiro work his magic here. 63 in black, folks.
Dave Tippett going with 3 out of the 4 players as forwards in this set. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, the lone defenseman. So here we go on a 4-on-3. Over the line, Ribeiro sends one in. Easy play, though, for Scrivens. He'll give it off behind the net for Matt Green. Clear to the line, but not out. Now Ekman-Larsson has it. Over to Ribeiro. 4-on-3 here for the Coyotes on the power play. Ekman-Larsson looking around. Ekman-Larsson across. One-timer Doan. Now down low. Back out high Doan. Over to Ekman-Larsson. They move it around. A shot. Scrivens the save, and he holds.
Good puck movement there by the Coyotes. Another big save there by Scrivens. He's been good in this game.
Good play, too, by Oliver Ekman here on the left point.
Yeah, real good keeping. That puck's bouncing. Drops the gloves on the ice. Make sure he keeps it in. And here's the movement we were talking about. Look at the interchanges by the Coyotes. Good movement. And on shot there by the captain, Shane Doan. Good sticks and lanes by LA, though.
Coyotes win the draw, and they feed it to Ekman-Larsson. Now Vrbata looking around. Middle of the ice, and Ekman-Larsson back out with it. Across now. Holding his Doan. They set it up, Vrbata. Now Vrbata looking around. Ekman-Larsson.
They got to give it to 63.
Ribeiro has it across. Doan, he stopped that time. Scrivens does not give up a rebound. And we'll get a face-off with 21 remaining in the 4-on-3.
Good puck movement, but you have to get it in Ribeiro's hands. This is why he gets paid what he gets paid. As soon as he gets it, he makes a play. That's where the puck needs to be.
Face-off to the right of Scrivens, Ribeiro, and Kopitar. They win the draw, and back of the line is Ekman-Larsson. Ribeiro. Now Ribeiro holding on to it. Ribeiro tried to get it through that time, blocked by Regehr, and rotated back for Vrbata. Radim Vrbata to the line. The holding as Ekman-Larsson skates in, thought about it. Now shot of the net. Back out high, Ekman-Larsson across, Doan, and that's blocked out high. 5-on-3 for 18 seconds. To the line now, Yandel for Ekman-Larsson. Got a piece of that with Scrivens, and now we got a whistle here.
That puck's going to stay in. Good shot there by Oliver Ekman-Larsson. So this face-off is big right here for the Coyotes. There's the movement again. Get that puck up high, the one-timer. But Doan's got to get right in front of Scrivens. He sees this all the way. All the way. You get in front of him, he doesn't see it. He starts moving his head from right to left to see around you, and that's when corners start to open up.
3 shots on the Arizona Lottery Powerball power play. Bodker tries to play it around. He sets it up there for Vermette to the line. Yandel gets it across. Now Yandel out high. Morris is going to take a shot, and a stop by Scrivens. Muzzin is out, and now both of the penalties to the Kings have expired. It's a 5-on-5 as Vermette tried to put it in front. Kings are back to full strength. They kill him off. And back out of the zone for Carter. And this one's picked up by Jared Stoll as he tries to get it past Derek Morse. Minute 45 to go in the first period. We've had a little bit of everything. 17 Coyotes shots to 8 for the Los Angeles Kings, and neither team able to get their power play to cash in. As Antoine Vermette will bring it back and over the line. Vermette tried to throw it out high. Here's a chance. Schlemko lets it go, and that hit a couple of bodies, including Dave Moss in front. Mike Richards now sends one wide of the mark. And Bodker will try to get it up the ice, but it's taken away there, and so now Schlemko in behind. Here comes Kyle Chipchura. Across center, got angled off that time by Clifford. They look at one another. Clifford wants no part, and back the other way it goes. Clifford over the line. Under a minute to go. That hit the outside of the net. Stopped by Smith. Now Kyle Clifford back out high for Muzzin. Muzzin gets a shot away, and that deflected just wide. Goes over the glass and out of play. And now Chipchura having words again with Kyle Clifford, as we remind you that when the Coyotes win, you win at Papa John's. The day after every Coyotes win, celebrate with 50% off your online order at papajohns.com by typing in promo code Coyotes. Offer only available online on regular menu prices.
Well, the LA Kings, they scored a lot of their goals the other night. Just like that last scoring chance there. Traffic in front. Coyotes got to make sure they do a better job boxing out, allowing Mike Smith to see that puck all the way. Redirects is a big part of the Kings game.
22 to go in the opening period, and Ekman Larsson will set it up behind the net for McCulloch. Tries to jam it out. Got some help that time for Verbata as it goes back inside the Kings zone. Kopitar. Back through center and in over the line, chasing it down is King, and we get a whistle here on the icing. So the hybrid icing here paying off for the Coyotes.
That saves a big collision there below the goal line as well. As King was coming in hard on Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Now 24 seconds to go in this first period. The Coyotes with another opportunity off a faceoff.
24.9 remaining. And the Kings will play it along. Good keep of the line by McCulloch, and he'll get one deep. Set in behind the net to the left wing corner for Ribeiro. Dwight King will look to take it away, and he gets it back to the line and out. 7 seconds to go. McCulloch will play this in behind the net for Ekman-Larsson, and that's going to do it here for the opening period tonight at Jobbing.com Arena. Well, coming up, Todd will chat with Antoine Vermette. Number 50 will pay a visit. We'll also take a look around the NHL, have our stats and highlights. 9 King shots in the opening 20, and a lot better, Tyson, than where we were after 20 minutes at Staples last Thursday.
Yeah, LA is in this hockey game because of their goaltender. No Quick, but Scrivens has been outstanding. 17 shots on net, 4 power play opportunities for the Phoenix Coyotes. Nothing to show for it, but they're drawing penalties. That's the good thing. They are engaged in this one, Matt.
17 shots for the Coyotes, and that ties a season high in terms of shots on goal in a period. 11 different Coyotes with a shot, but no score. Stick around. Todd is up next with Antoine Vermette. Welcome back tonight at Jobbing.com Arena. No scores. The Coyotes head out for period number 2 against the Los Angeles Kings. And tonight, Coyotes hockey is presented by Yancey's Fancy. Ben Scrivens was outstanding in that opening 20, stopping all 17 Coyotes shots. Coyotes have had difficult times in the opening 20 minutes of games this season. Know that they get stronger as the second and third periods roll around. -9 in goal differential, 29th in the NHL in the first period, but they're a +12 over the final 40 minutes of games.
How about the third period? They're number 1 in the National Hockey League. They have 18 third period goals. But they'd like to put something on the board here in period number 2. Have to find a way to solve Scrivens.
Matt Green steps up as we're underway here in the second period, and he'll dump one in, but we get a whistle here on an icing call. Downstairs, Todd Walsh.
Guys, just spoke to Jim Playfair, as we always do after the first period, before period number 2. Love the compete level in that opening period, as you might expect. But he also said this: we want to stay in the battle longer and be stronger in the battle. We want to control the puck a little more as well, but a little more in those battles. Maybe they'll pop something free.
I like that. That's what it's all about. Make sure that compete level is at a premium, especially when you play the LA Kings, that big, heavy team that didn't play so big and heavy in that first period.
Played right back and over the line. Schlemko, big hit on Jared Stoll. Puck played to the near corner. Down low in a battle is Clifford. He's tied up with Kyle Chipchura. Those two have been going at it all night long, and now Bodker will free it. Coyotes get it out. Michael Stone flips it on left wing, and Kyle Chipchura will send one deep. So that unit will get off the ice. They'll be replaced, and Willie Mitchell will play it along, and Matt Green will send this one all the way back in. And Mike Smith plays it to the corner for McCulloch, and the Coyotes will regroup. Back through center ice, Klinkhammer lets this one go back and over the line, and we get a whistle here and an offside.
Well, start Halloween with a Coyotes game at Bud Light Thursday night party pack. That includes 2 lower-level tickets and 2 domestic beers for $99 this week when the Coyotes host the Nashville Predators. Details at PhoenixCoyotes.com.
By the way, Nasher, you're up in the booth tonight. You're not down between the benches. It's great to have you back.
Good to be back, bud.
Got out the duster.
Yeah.
Cleaned off your spot over there.
It's good to be back. I saw some smiles around up here, seeing all the press folks.
A lot of people were wondering where you went.
A lot of chit-chat, free cookies, hot dogs. I know you got a couple in your pocket right now.
Icing the call, by the way, and we'll get a face-off all the way back.
You can't do your grocery shopping up here for the family, though, eh?
And to try to bring this thing back to center, being down between the benches so often, you come back up here, completely different perspective. I mean, is it?
Yeah, it is. I feel like Wayne Gretzky up here. It just looks so easy. Down there, so fast. Everything happens at a much faster pace than it looks like up here.
Who do you feel like down there? Into the corner?
Speechless.
Yeah, you could throw yourself under the bus if you throw out a few names there.
Yeah.
Thought it would work, but oh well. Played out, now holding on to it is Klinkhammer with a shot. Scrivens the save. Into the corner, Kopitar. Shane Doan on him. Williams will give way, and the Kings will bring it along through center for Drew Doughty. Well, Doughty in over the line, looking around, gave it to King with a shot and a stop by Smith.
That's a little play there by Doughty. All alone, King comes, Mike Smith. You can't say enough about Mike Smith and how he's played also in this early part of the hockey game.
That shot caught him.
There's been some point-blank chances for the LA Kings. I know only 10 shots in this hockey game, but there's been some beauties. There's a little saucer pass there by Doughty, all alone King, and he tries to go upstairs, over top of that glove, underneath the bar, catches Smith in a meaty area.
Well, he's had a lot of point-blank shot attempts in front of him here tonight. And that's still got to be an area of concern for the coaching staff, as this one's going to be played back in, and Pratt with a save and a rebound follow-up there by Carter, as it'll be played in behind the net. Derek Morris will settle everything down as he gets it to center for Bodker, who flips one deep. Maybe Mikkel Bodker can provide the much-needed offense here in a lineup that's going tonight without Martin Hanzal and Lori Korpikoski. Jeff Halper not in the lineup as well.
Mikkel Bodker has that speed. He's got 7 assists on the year, which is tied for the team lead. All primary assists, I might add. But he needs to get on the board. Start potting a couple. He's got 2 on the season.
In other words, no cheapies.
No cheapies, yeah.
Played right back along. Bodker for Yandel. Look to hit the trailer. Verbata trying to get a shot away, and now it's turned the other way. 2-on-2 for the Kings back. They got numbers here. Here's Lewis. He shoots. He's stopped by Smith. Save of the night, Mike Smith. And again, another point-blank challenge.
Oh, was that ever a beauty? Lewis can't believe it. Mike Smith gets the oven mitt on this one. 3-on-2. Carcillo finds Lewis, the late guy. Keith Yandel kind of closed the gap. Didn't see Lewis coming down the right side. Big glove save there by Mike Smith. That's what I'm talking about. Mike Smith also in his zone this evening.
Stone sends it around. Puck played all the way down. Green back, and we get an icing call here against the Coyotes. Well, Mike Smith, 13 saves so far tonight. And on a lot of them, not a lot of help.
Yeah, he gets the stinky mitt on this one. Look at that. Beauty right there. No rebound. He has been so good in this game. Only 13 shots again, but real good scoring chances. Too many breakdowns once again for the Coyotes that are leading to opportunity.
Schlemko down below the goal line. Puck's going to be played around. Jordan Nolan will free it, and Green will bring it up the ice. Good stick that time by Stone. And Michael Stone getting extra playing time here now with some of the injuries as Chipchura brings it in over the line. Here's a chance. Schwartz with a shot and a stop that time.
They worked on that in practice yesterday. The shot pass. You're not going to score from that angle, especially the way Scrivens is playing, but shoot to that far pad in hopes for a rebound.
Here we go. Fight at center.
Carcillo and Chipchura. Here we go. Two tough guys. Two middleweights.
Yeah, Chipchura's been wanting to go all night long.
Carcillo can scrap. He's trying to get that right arm free, get the lawnmower going. Here we go. Chipchura's got him tied up.
And they battle for it. Carcillo getting a couple of punches in.
Carcillo switching up a couple times right to left. More of a grappling match there. But the fans are on their feet. They love it. Carcillo caught Chipchura with a left in the top of the pumpkin.
This all happening just outside the Coyotes' blue line.
Two tough guys at the end of their shifts as well. You can see there, absolutely gassed. Carcillo comes right over to him. Couple cross checks, he wants to go. Chipchura obliges. You see, there's the switch up there by Carcillo. Catches him twice. It's tough when you're so focused on grabbing that right arm, and Carcillo can throw both hands. You just saw there. Fan favorite here. Once upon a time for the Coyotes. Daniel Carcillo.
So they sit for fighting majors. We roll on at 5-on-5 as this puck will be played for Keith Yandle. Across, and the Coyotes regroup as Morris now chipping along for Dave Moss. Back it over the line it goes, and now turn the other way and set right back in. Mealy and Kennedy out there right now with Dave Moss. All CCHA line, college conference line there, as the puck is going to be played in behind the net. Smith will jam it to the corner. Now back out high for Drew Doughty. He takes a wrister and a stop that time by Smith.
Nice job there by Yandle, cleaning up the garbage, eliminating those second opportunities.
Mealy has it. Missed the flex off netting, and so we'll get a whistle.
Here was that Schwartz chance I was talking about. He's going to get this puck, come right down the right side, and he's shooting this to the right pad of Scrivens. There's the rebound. Good awareness there by Green, though, as Chipchura was going hard to the net, that left post. They talked about, they worked on that in practice. That's a shot pass. That's how play nowadays in the NHL. Things are so tight.
So let me get this straight. Jordan Schwartz provides our Schwartz Laser Ice Center view from the ice tonight. I like that.
I love it.
So now Fratton will bring it along. We get a whistle here on the icing call, and we'll bring it all the way back inside the LA zone.
When teams are icing the puck like LA has done a number of times, that is just the result of nowhere to go. There's no room out there because the Coyotes, as we always talk about, when they're playing their game to their identity, they're defending in layers, forcing LA to dump the puck in and icing it in turn.
And it results in an offensive zone faceoff of the Coyotes. Bodker will look to set it up in the left wing corner, get some help there as well from Ribeiro. Ribeiro trying to get it down low. Jeff Carter, though, looking to clear it out. Voinov with it, but it's turned. Here's Rabada. Rabada, wrist shot, and a stop that time by
Rabada.
Ben Scrivens, looking good there.
Backside pressure by Radim Verbata. Picks the pocket of Voinov, who thought he had this puck out. He was on his merry way out of the zone. Look at the crazy digs there by Verbata. Old Twinkle Toes comes in there. Tries to go 5-hole. Just got up on him a little bit. Hit him right in the crest. That's the guy you want shooting the puck right there. Radim Verbata, 5 goals on the season.
Doughty will set it up for the Kings. Williams through center, got angled off that time by Vermette and played right back. Robin Regehr. Shot was blocked away, and now McCulloch will set it up. Dominic McCulloch flipped along that time by Antoine Vermette. He'll chase after it against Robin Regehr. And they battle for possession. Klinkhammer in there as well. Here's a turnover and a shot just sent wide by Doan.
Forcing turnovers.
Holding on to it into the corner it goes. Vermette trying to step up move there on Kopitar, but he wraps it to the corner for King. King with 2 Coyotes all over him. And the Kings will get it out through center. Dwight King now trying to go wide. King right to the front, but it's taken away that time by Klinkhammer, and he'll circle inside of his own zone.
A real good defensive play there by both D-men. McCulloch. And then look at taking Kopitar right to the net.
That time Kennedy couldn't get a deep turnover here. Back the other way. Clifford. He'll play to the corner. Bissonnette in behind the net. Clifford hanging out. Back to the line. Matt Green with a shot, and that deflected wide. Good battle along the board. Stoll that time along with Ekman Larson. Kennedy coming in to help as well, but it's taken away, and back to the line, Matt Green. Over to Muzzin. Muzzin shot over the top of the net. And now the Coyotes will look to bring it along as they get it through center, and Bissonnette will get one deep. Schwartz in behind with that big hit that time, Bissonnette. They're back in behind, and that's where Matt Green will set it up. Now back it over the line. Look out, here's a chance. Nolan, and he ripped one wide. Kind of a broken play, and now Mealy will bring it along. Here he comes with Bodker. Now Bodker got one to the net, and that's stopped by Scrivens.
Good wheels there by Andy Mealy. Driving right through the gut.
Played to center, and now Schlemko is there. Michael Stone deflected back in. Mealy's going to go right after, but he couldn't get to the puck. Voinov beats him to the play. There's a chance for Bodker on a turnover out high.
Just one turnover after another for Voinov right now.
Into the zone it goes. Nolan, a little pull-up move there. Good support down low. Bodker, and he'll strip it free.
Yeah, that backside pressure been very noticeable here for the Coyotes, and that's the stuff that Dave Tippett, they were working on yesterday.
Doan has it across, and a big blast that time taken just wide by Antoine Vermette. McCulloch in behind. Hard wrap around all the way back inside the LA zone. Regehr to play it for Doughty. Now Kopitar. Regehr will get it out. King across center. Ekman Larson's going to chase this one down and played in behind the net for McCulloch. Turnover here, but it's cleared out, and Klinkhammer will bring it across that big Coyote at center ice.
They had nobody with them. All 5 guys back for the LA Kings, out of gas. There's Shane Doan. He couldn't get up. He wanted to. He couldn't get up there in the play.
And over the line, Kopitar curls to the middle, but it's taken away. Coyotes will play it off the boards for Bodker. He's got a little room. Bodker over the line, tried to drag it that time on Kopitar. Nothing doing.
Oh, Yandel wanted that puck. I don't think Bodker recognized he had Keith Yandel with him. He had the old beaver tap going on the ice.
Now back of the line, Bodker, sharp angle. Verbata was there for a deflection. Now Morris with a shot, and that stopped. Coyotes get one on net, and finally covered up by Ben Scrivens. Good flurries at both ends of the ice. Still no score.
Todd Walsh on the Coyote bench with Rob Klinkhammer. Rob, you guys have to be happy with the sustained pressure. How are you keeping it going?
Just playing simple, getting pucks in, trying to create second and third chances by just going at them.
How about what Kyle Chipchura did earlier for your team? That was a tough customer he battled with.
Oh, yeah, that's the kind of guy Chip is. You know, he's a character guy. He'll battle every night. You know, he's not scared. He's not afraid to drop him. So, you know, it's great on him.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
Guys?
Thanks, Todd. Going to face off to the left of Scrivens. Played out of there and all the way back up ice by Carcillo. Comes around Brown now. Works it behind the net, Carcillo, but he's challenged that time by Morris. Now Stoll that time took a bump from Chipchura. The Coyotes will get it back out. Nick Ribeiro lofts one towards the front of the net. Moss is there. Now Willie Mitchell in behind the net. Deflected out high. Yandel across. Morris has room. He takes a shot. Looking for a deflection out high. Was that off Ribeiro?
Yeah, off of Ribeiro. And there's that shoot first mentality. The Coyotes.
Dustin Brown has it. He'll bring it back and over the line. His shot deflected in front of the net. And now Kyle Clifford with a blast. And that's stopped by Smith.
Big reverse dirty shoulder there by Derek Morris on Clifford. Have a seat.
Over the line, Yandel. Back out high. Here's a chance. Bissonnette with a shot and a save that time.
Oh, that was Muzzin. Heads up play there by Muzzin. He fronts that shot. Does not allow that puck to get through.
Lewis that time with a rough ride from Michael Stone. Played all the way back to center. This one's starting to percolate a little bit. Oh, yeah.
Percolate. I like that. Pull that out of your hat, eh?
An old coffee phrase. Probably nobody watching tonight knows what a percolator is as the puck is played to the corner. Behind the net. Now Bissonnette and Swartz out there. Nolan will take it away. They'll bring it all the way back. Gives it
footsteps right there.
Yeah, Nolan will get one in, but the Coyotes take it away.
Nolan was waiting to get hit. That's what happens when you play a physical game. You're looking around over your shoulder.
Beat LA chant goes back up here in Glendale. Klinkhammer will bring it in over the line. Klinkhammer drops it. Vermette with a shot. It's underneath Scrivens.
He doesn't know where it is.
Quick whistle here as Carter was going to fish one out. Well, what did you mention about the reverse dirty shoulder? Derek Morris doing it to Clifford.
Come back, little Keith Yandel highlight pack for you. Good job defending. 6 points in 3 games, but often gets overlooked for his defensive play as well. Good sticks, good speed, keeping LA to the outside. Another good stick here on not a bad player there. And Kopitar taking away the middle of the ice. That's the key for any young defenseman out there watching. The middle of the ice, you control that, and you control the game, especially when you play a team like LA. Make them work for everything. Everything to the outside. Make the goaltender make an easy save.
Well, goaltending's been a big part of tonight's game as Ekman Larson has it, and a wrist shot got towards the net, and another one clanged off the iron. Well, that's an example of there's no such thing as a bad shot. That all just off a broken play. Turnover Kopitar. As we close in on 8 minutes remaining in the second period here tonight. King. Now Kopitar plays it in behind the net. Handling it is Williams to the line. Reguer. That one just deflected wide.
Nice job by the Coyotes again, though, keeping them to the outside. That redirect was way out far.
To the front, a chance. Blocked away that time. McCulloch out high. Doughty and a pad save by Smith. He got the left one on that.
Cat-like reflexes there by Smith.
Out of the zone, Doughty has room, and he brings it right back in. Poked away by Ekman Larson. A dangerous play goes for naught.
Give it to him and then take it away.
Kings now bringing some heat. Dustin Brown to the front. Stopped that time by Smith, and he holds. And now Klinkhammer right in the middle of it.
Things heating up, no doubt about it. Couple chicken wings out there. There's the play off. The face-off. Broken play. It's all about winning those little battles. Not always about the centerman. Turns and fires. Listen for this one. Right off the pipe. Scrivens never even saw that shot. And then Mike Smith. Watch this left pad. Wrong plate, sorry.
Yeah, that was the, I believe, the follow-up. 17 saves tonight for Mike Smith. Vermette back in the circle. He's won 12 and lost 5 here tonight. Or excuse me, Ribeiro. And now Ribeiro. He played in behind the net. Out of the zone, chip to center.
Smothering him right now in the neutral zone. Four Coyotes. Black jerseys all over the LA Kings. And that's when you know the Coyotes are playing their game.
Willie Mitchell. Over the line, he'll send to the corner. And cleared all the way back to center. Sent right back in. Yandel will get another chance here, and he sends it across.
Good passes there to alleviate that pressure. 2 crisp passes, and you're out of the zone.
Well, on Halloween night, bring your trick-or-treaters out to the Coyotes game against the Nashville Predators at 7 for great hockey and free candy. Compliments of fries. Get all the details at PhoenixCoyotes.com. Coyotes just one of 3 games, I believe, in the NHL on Thursday night on Halloween.
This might be my first ever Halloween game, to be honest. Be interesting.
Over the line, Carter.
Could be a treat.
Or a trick, maybe. Maybe you got something planned up your sleeve.
Well, we'll see. We're waiting for the okay. So yet to be seen.
So you got something cooking. All right. Tune into Fox Sports Arizona Thursday night. One and only trip, I believe, by the Predators here this year to jobbing.com. Sent right back in. Now Green. And this will be an icing call here. Tonight's Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Jake Kopitar has feasted on the Coyotes. 47 points, most of any opponent.
Feasted on a lot of teams.
Good ones on that list for sure.
Nobody more than the Coyotes making his chops here tonight.
Got to the line that time by Yandel. And now Vermette coming away with it. Got to back out high. Chance Morris tried to set somebody up in front. Vermette will play it in behind the net. Looking for Shane Doan there. Played out and chipped along and all the way back where Keith Yandel will race back to get it. Stretch pass here. Chance over the line. Klinkhammer. Klinkhammer in behind the net. Smart play there. He had a player in behind him for a drop pass, but gets the puck deep.
He just hesitated for half a second.
Chance back it over the line for King. Little pull-up move. He shoots and it's stopped by Smith. Scramble to the line. Reguer, his shot wide. Out of the corner it goes and back out high. Doughty with a shot, and that hit a body in front. Kings bringing some heat here. Williams hit the outside of the net. This one poked away. Coyotes just going to try to get it out. And they will all the way back to center. Good job that time by Doan, and he'll pick one off and get one deep. Now Doan has it. Try to set it up in front. Clifford will come away with it. Williams angled off that time by Ekman Larson. Backing over the line for Clifford. Now he tries to go backhand to the forehand, and it's underneath. And a shot that time just goes wide.
Now Mike Smith down and out.
Now Lewis. This one rolled up and played in behind the net. Coyotes a little bit scrambly here as it's moved out by Bodker, and backhanded in that time by Vrbata.
Well, the referees are letting him go now, I'll tell you that. A couple missed calls there on the Coyotes. Ribeiro, that last one, trying to break out of his own zone. Getting tugged on from behind.
And Mitchell will loft this one through the neutral zone back deep.
And that's okay, as long as it's consistent.
Out of the zone. Willie Mitchell. Slava Voinov. They made a good tandem in Los Angeles as Carcillo over the line with a shot over the top of the net. Big blast that time by Jared Stoll.
Right off the shaft of Stone.
Over the line, Stoll. Chasing this one down is going to be Schlemko. Kennedy out there now for the Coyotes. Fourth unit back out there. Back out high, a shot, and that's handled by Smith. Now Stoll. Jake Muzzin right to the front. It's loose. Coyotes will try to get it out. Under 3 minutes to go in the second period. Kennedy in a battle. And now in front, Bissonnette will free it. Coyotes can't get it out.
I think that back pass there by Bissonnette.
Brown now holds. Brown poked away beautifully that time. Coyotes will get it out. They won't be able to change because this is going to be an icing call, but
Yeah, that caught Schlemko off guard. Bissonnette apologizes to Schlemko. Schlemko didn't expect it. Dave Tippett was going to call a timeout here to give these guys a breather. But here's the play. Watch Bissonnette in the slot. It's going to come to him. He gives it back to Schlemko. He gets caught watching. And the pressure continues by LA. So we're getting 30 seconds here to catch a breather.
a smart use of the one and only timeout by head coach Dave Tippett. Talking to his fourth unit. Meanwhile, on the LA side of things, you get a good look at Jeff Carter, and he, along with Mike Richards, in terms of career goals against Mike Smith, they are 1 and 2.
Mike Smith was over at Tampa Bay for a few years, so that's why the numbers are so high. Richards and Carter, though, have been a thorn in the side for the Coyotes, though, since coming to LA from Philadelphia. Richards had that killer of a goal the other night. The Coyotes finally came back to tie it up. He gets the shorty. It really broke the backs of the Coyotes in that one.
So that unit has to stay out. Kennedy will take the draw against Jeff Carter. Huge face-off here in the defensive end of the ice for the Coyotes. And Kennedy wins the draw. Stone will play it in behind the net, and he gets it around, and Schwartz will get it out. And Bissonnette dumps one deep as that line goes to the bench, albeit except for Paul Bissonnette. Now out of the zone, Moss. And this one's going to be dumped right back in. Now Bissonnette gets the change. And the Coyotes will stretch it back to center for Dave Moss. Moss, Chipchura, Mealy out there right now. Chance, Moss. That time by Scrivens.
Great job from the defensive zone right up into the offensive zone.
Mealy to the front. Now Chipchura back out high. Wrister by Morris. In the crease. They score! Might be Andy Mealy. Coyotes have taken a 1-0 lead.
Oh, what a great job. As I mentioned, from the defensive zone, a couple passes. Tic-tac-toe. Out of the zone they go. And then the forechecking pressure by the Coyotes. They're on it. A little simple dump into the corner. Chipchura gets on his horse. Right there to Moss. Big, juicy rebound. Keith Yandel, though, keeps this play alive. Keeps it going. Mealy with just a battle in front. I'm not sure who this goes off of. If Mealy dives in to get this puck across the line at the last second. Right there or not. But that shot comes heavy and hard by Derek Morris. I think that initially goes off the stick of Moss in front, too. I don't know. That puck was pinballing all over, but the Coyotes will take it.
It's Mealy's goal. If he touched it before it crossed the line, it might be Moss's goal. We'll wait for the official. Derek Morris, never shy to shoot.
Well, he'll definitely get an assist on it, no doubt.
So 1-0 Coyotes. The goal coming at 18-19. They sustained a flurry that was being put on by LA. We'll take another look as we head to break. Morris with the initial shot. It might be Derek Morris's goal. That looked like it went in off Reguer. Tyson, replays are great because as we took a look during break, Derek Morris gets credited with his third of the season. Here's how.
Well, here's a bullet. Never hesitates to shoot it. There's off the skate of Reguer and then off the knee of Doughty. So it eludes Moss. And then Andy Mealy, I don't think he ever gets a stick on that puck. So Derek Morris, his third of the year. More offense from defense. 5 defensemen now in the last 2 games have goals. And they already led the National Hockey League for goals scored by defensemen with 10. Now ramp that up to 11.
Mealy and Chipchura pick up the assist at 18-19 on Morris's third of the season. Ribeiro has it in the corner, but he coughed it up, and Trevor Lewis will get it out for Los Angeles. Hip check that time before Ekman-Larsson, but he continues on. Nice play here by Trevor Lewis. Trying to work it towards the front, locked up at the end boards by Keith Yandel. Ribeiro comes over, looking for the loose puck. And Ribeiro will take it away, but Vermette can't advance it, so Anze Kopitar now down low before it's taken away, and the Coyotes will set it up.
He's surrounded. 4 Coyotes on Anze Kopitar, and Coyotes are on the power play here as well.
Yeah, penalty issued that time to Justin Williams. As the puck is played in behind the net. A dozen seconds remaining. Coyotes will work it back out high. Ekman-Larsson will pass on it. Yandel back to Ekman-Larsson. He'll shoot. He scores! A late power play goal. OEL has made it 2-0.
Well, the penalty to Williams. That's a long skate back to the box. And the Coyotes cash in once again. 3 power play goals now in the last 2 games. And Shane Doan just wins the battle. Dustin Brown down and out. There's the shot coming. Keith Yandel to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Time running out. Far down. See if this redirects off of anyone. Shane Doan right in front of Scrimmins. So Shane Doan gets his third of the season.
And the second period is over. 2 goals, Tyson, in the final minute 41. And the Coyotes with a 2-0 lead.
Major teams pay, Matt.
Yeah, and Derek Morris is going to join Todd Walsh in our second intermission. We'll also have stats and highlights as well. But what an ending to a period. Morris at 18-19, and then Shane Doan on the redirect of an Oliver Ekman-Larsson shot at 19:54. What a finish.
Absolutely. Shane Doan, you make teams pay. They want to take penalties. The Coyotes didn't cash in the first period, but they sure did here in the second.
Well, for the longest time, we thought that first goal was scored by number 21, Andy Mealy. But look at him. He's pointing out to Derek Morris. It's your goal. It's 2-0. Welcome back. Coyotes now heading out of the locker room to the ice for period number 3 tonight against the Los Angeles Kings with a 2-0 lead. Our CenturyLink link to what's next. The Nashville Predators make their first and only trip to the Valley Thursday night for a special Halloween show right here on Fox Sports Arizona. Coverage begins at 6:30. It's Todd Walsh hosts Coyotes Live, presented by CenturyLink. Then puck drop at 7. Great Coyotes action right here on Fox Sports Arizona. First time this season the Coyotes have not allowed at least 1 goal through 2 periods.
That's Coyote hockey right there. They've done it also, Matt. I don't think we've talked enough about this. This game is far from over, but they've also done it. Martin Handel, no Klesla, no Korpikoski. I mean, the list goes on.
Alford, who's been an
Alford, yes, absolutely.
And on the other side, we showed you the defensive side of not allowing goals. The Coyotes now have scored 7 second period goals in the last 3 games.
We all know what their third periods have been like this year. They're number 1 in the National Hockey League. They scored 18 third period goals. Let's hope that continues. LA is going to come with a push, you know that.
They're now announcing the goal to Derek Morris, and that came with just 6 seconds remaining in the second period. Andy Mealy picks up his first NHL point on the Morris goal at 18-19. So congratulations to Andy Mealy. I'm sure the Brotherhood Knoxford, Ohio is happy for the former Hobey Baker Trophy winner as we get a takedown there by Ekman Larsson in the corner.
Coyotes got away with one there. Oliver Ekman Larsson had the free hand off his stick.
Still in behind the net. Big battle there with Anze Kopitar and Antoine Vermette. And we're going to whistle here. Good battle along the end boards.
LA just hasn't done enough of that in this hockey game. As you look at the 2-on-2 battle, pucks in the skates. Coyotes doing a real good job containing LA and their big forwards. That's their big top line. Kopitar, King, and Williams trying to go to work. Look at Antoine Vermette's numbers. Almost 15 minutes, 15 shifts, 3 shots. He's been shooting the puck tonight, but the rest of the night is going to be important for Vermette in the circle.
Yeah, 13 wins, 7 losses so far for number 50.
Where he earns his money.
Played right back in, and Scrivens that time bats away a Verbata bid. Behind the net, Willie Mitchell. And Dustin Brown will get it out back to center, but it's knocked away that time by Ribeiro, and the Coyotes lifting it up the ice. The Beat LA chant again here tonight in Glendale.
Verbata's been good in this game as well. Yesterday he was a little under the weather, didn't practice. Got a lot of jump in those legs of his.
Behind the net, Jared Stoll in the front, and a stop that time by Smith. And the Coyotes will move it along back to center. Now Verbata on the regroup, fresh set of defensemen, so Stone will play it up for Ribeiro. And he'll dump one in. We've had excellent goaltending in this one. Ben Scrivens with 23 saves, or excuse me, 26 saves. Mike Smith with 25. And now Clifford will bring it along through center for Jordan Nolan on the right wing side. Schlemko goes after him. Played in behind the net, Kyle Clifford. Now back to the line. A weak shot there is turned the other way, and Moss will get it back to center ice. And it's the Kings to regroup. Robin Regehr. Over the line, Nolan gives it to Clifford. Clifford right to the net and through the crease. Nobody can finish it off there for Los Angeles.
Clifford has been very impressive in this hockey game for me. Yeah, he's a tough guy that has a little skill to his game.
Well, he's had good looks, and he's done very, very well in the corners of the
speed.
Yeah.
He's got the speed. Flies down that wall, takes the puck hard to the net.
One of LA's better forwards here tonight.
Fearless.
Played all the way down, and we'll get an icing call here, and so a face-off back in the Kings zone.
Well, he stops pucks, he scores goals, and now he can sit on your shelf. Your Coyotes host, Alex Ovechkin, and the Capitals in 2 weeks. The first 10,000 fans will get a free Mike Smith bobblehead, courtesy of Gila River Casino. Get your tickets today at PhoenixCoyotes.com. Oh, where's the full hawk? I thought we might see it.
It's kind of the clean-shaven one.
That is. He's way too good looking.
Maybe that'll be a second promotional night. Flowhawk night. Over the line, Kennedy. And Kennedy holding on to the point. It's Morris, but he has to retreat back into the neutral zone. And now Yandel inside of his own blue line. Swartz. And Muzzin now. Swartz will take a bump the defender Muzzin as it's played all the way up. King in a big battle there was Zbynek McCulloch. Well, McCulloch able to chip it into the corner from his wallet as Doughty now will get a shot back in. And over the top of the net on the rebound that time. Good look there for the Kings. Justin Williams. And now Kopitar with a shot steered away by Smith. Coyotes will get a past Willie Mitchell and up the ice.
Well, now it's all about not taking your foot off the gas, continuing with the game plan, getting the pucks in deep and making sure they get out. Look at the forecheck of Schwartz in his first ever game. Big hit on Muzzin. And then back comes King. How's she doing on McCulloch? But McCulloch, look at the second effort. He ends up getting that puck, as you said, from his wallet. And there's what Schwartz has done in his first ever game. 6 minutes, that's typical. Trying to get his feet wet.
Off the face-off, Mitchell's shot is blocked. Coyotes will get it out, and Bodker now in a one-on-one with Doughty. Mikhail Bodker in over the line. Little spinorama move, and he got a dump to the ice. Doughty's the one that lost his stick, and the puck will be played around. And behind the net, Doan goes right after. Tried to get it in front there for Antoine Vermette. For the line. Out of the corner. Doan hits the trailer. Klinkhammer and a blast that time blocked away.
Oh, that was Stoll, I believe. What a bomb by Klinkhammer.
Into the corner and in behind the net, Yandel. Tied up with Carcillo. Puck is freed. Dustin Brown, his shot blocked away. Green can't maneuver the puck, and so Doan will get it back to center, and he'll dump one right back in. Kings and Coyotes here tonight on Fox Sports Arizona. 2-0 Coyotes on 2 second-period goals that came late in that middle frame. Nolan. And now Kyle Clifford working the boards effectively again before he's stripped of the puck, and the Coyotes will get it out.
Nice defensive play there by Ribeiro.
Over the line, Verbata. And Clifford back to get it, and here he comes. Kyle Clifford trying to go wide on Schlemko. Good angle-off move there. Schlemko's had a pretty good game, although he coughs it up here before it's turned the other way. And out with it is Ribeiro for Verbata. Mike Ribeiro, little pull-up move there, and he got one towards Scrivens, who steers it to the corner, and now out of the zone by Jordan Nolan.
That smart play there by Ribeiro, though. Not turning it over at the blue line, putting it into a safe area, making LA come 200 feet.
Stratton. And now Richards. Knocked away, however, kept by Mealy. Mealy to the corner, Moss to the front. They score! Kyle Chipchura. He's made it 3-0 Coyotes.
Wow, this is one heck of a play here by Andy Mealy. Nice little play on the blue line to create some room. This puck's going to come right to him. Right here, watch this move. Little inside and outside to Moss. Nice saucer pass there by Moss to Kyle Chipchura. Goes hard to the net. Great little dig play there by 21 Mealy. That pass by Moss. Good hands by number 18. Buttery saucer pass onto the stick of Chipchura. He gets his second point of the hockey game. He goes hard to the net and he gets rewarded.
They're going to review this one. We're going to take another look here.
They're looking for a kick. It's all about the kicking motion.
You can redirect it. You cannot distinctively kick.
I think it definitely hits the skate. Here's the pass over the stick of Regier. Off the left skate. This one's going to count. Take one more look. Off the
After
stick.
review, we have a good goal.
Off the stick of Scrivens, off the left skate of Chipchura, and in the back of the net. And that one's going to count, folks.
Brad Watson, short and sweet on the explanation. Good goal.
Got to make sure. Yeah, I don't mind that.
Chipchura with a goal and an assist. Andy Mealy with his first 2 National Hockey League points. He assisted on the Morris goal and now on the Chipchura goal.
Line has been so effective. So effective.
So out of the zone, the Kings will bring it back to center ice. Played all the way back. McCulloch will send it in behind the net. Kopitar. And again, the Coyotes doing it without a fistful of regulars out of the lineup, including Martin Hansel. As it's moved along, and Klinkhammer will bring it back. Brings it across. Vermette over the top that time, as Scrivens might have gotten a piece of it.
And Daryl Sutter, he can't be happy with this hockey club right now. The way they played, their compete level, it's just not been good enough.
Back of the line, McCulloch floats one in. Scrivens makes the save. What a night for Kyle Chipchura. A goal, assist, and a fight. The Gordie Howe hat trick. Welcome back to Game Summer. It's been an interesting night. Coyotes early in this one had a goal disallowed, goalie interference. Vermette on Doughty in front. Oliver Ekman-Larsson couldn't believe it. Then a post on a spinorama shot by Rob Klinkhammer. And then late in the second, though, Tyson, the offense kicked into gear.
Yep, the floodgates started to open. Derek Morris with his third of the year. And then the captain, Shane Doan, gets rewarded for the work that he does in front of the net. Good hand-eye coordination. His third of the season as well. And then Kyle Chipchura from Mealy and Moss. As you mentioned, the Gordie Howe hat trick. Goal, assist, and a big fight.
That brings us to tonight's on-ice leader. It's brought to you by Mid-First Bank. Andy Mealy with his first 2 National Hockey League points. He was a big-time goal scorer at Miami University. Played for Rico Blasi there. He played with a lot of good players, including Jeff Zatkoff, who's one of the 2 goaltenders in Pittsburgh these days. And he is finally rewarded with 2 points in the National Hockey League as a shot by Brown goes high over the top of the net. And again, we talked about Mealy as this one's deflected wide, about how the big differences in his game, face-offs, and his down-low play defensively.
Oh, just real good chemistry, too, with Chipchura and Moss.
Matt Green shoots. Stopped that time by Smith. And now Mike Smith has it, and Carcillo gets up, and now all heck breaks loose as Carcillo having a word or two with goaltender Mike Smith.
Well, nice job there by Keith Yandel. Just holding the fort. Taking care of the sticks in front of the net. Look at Carcillo. He just can't get good wood on it. And Kennedy, a good shot from behind as well. Doesn't like Carcillo whacking away in front of Mike Smith. Protecting your goalie. Your number 1 asset right there, Mike Smith, who has been lights out in this hockey game. 27 saves.
Don't forget FoxSportsArizona.com for all your news and information. Post-game analysis from Craig Morgan. The Suns, good luck to them. They're getting set for their season opener. And Andre Ellington, a keeper for the Cardinals. I'd have to say so. He looked great over the weekend against the Dirty Birds. Well, now Chipchura will clear it out all the way back to center. The Cardinals put a hurt on him over the weekend as it's played around the boards. Good keep along the boards by Trevor Lewis. They try to work it back out high. And this one is feathered all the way up the ice. And they wave off the icing.
Look at the black jerseys. Every time the Kings touch the puck, there's 1 or 2 in the vicinity.
Clifford dumps one in. He'll chase. Kyle Clifford in behind the net. With the lead there for Jordan Nolan.
You know you're in trouble if you're the LA Kings and Kyle Clifford is your best player on the ice.
Yeah, good point. He's easily been one of the top 3 or 4 here tonight. Slava Voinov. Shot. 5 bodies down low, and it deflects all the way back to center. Shots favoring the Coyotes 29-28.
LA looks tired, tired tonight. And they play tomorrow night, too, against San Jose. So
yeah, good luck with that. As it's played all the way back to center. And they had that flurry. Remember, Tyson, at about the midway point of the second period, they had that flurry. They had a lot of pressure in the Coyotes zone. And then the Coyotes get the 2 goals late at 18-19 and 19-54. And it's been different ever since. Here's Verbata over the line. Verbata shoots. And Scrivens got that as it's cleared out of the crease by Stoll.
Well, this is just another one of those examples that hard work always outduels skill when you don't work hard. LA has not worked hard in this hockey game. Yeah, they're a far more skilled team than the Phoenix Coyotes, but it doesn't matter. If you don't put the work in and pay a price, nice job there by Verbata. Rolling puck, little faker. Scrivens doesn't bite on it. It's a blocker on that one.
Hard to believe these are the 2 same teams that met at Staples last Thursday night. And the Coyotes doing it without Marty Hanzal as well. Here's a chance. Kopitar. And that hits something out in front as Vermette will look to clear to the corner, but Kopitar takes it away. But it really is a change since that meeting on Thursday as Muzzin will work it back out high for Matt Green.
No stick for McCulloch in front of the net.
Williams shot blocked away that time by Vermette. Doan chips it back to center. Antoine Vermette.
He's hurting. He's a hurting unit out there. Took that right in the ankle.
Well, he will head to the bench. We'll keep an eye on him as Doan will deflect this one over the glass and out of play. Antoine Vermette blocking that shot just inside the left point.
That's an ice bag. Throw a bag on it. Team typically with the most ice bags on the bodies at the end of the night wins the hockey game. That means you sacrificed yourself for the good of the game.
Now Mealy has it. He'll play it along for Derek Morris. Coyotes going to not try to change a thing, really. I mean, they want to run clock here, but they have a 3-0 lead. And I would imagine they want to keep doing what they've been doing in the second half of this hockey game as it's moved along. Arcillo looks to get it out. They've been like junkyard dogs all over the puck. And that one, Tyson, if you had been between the benches, might have caught you in the old Chicklets. Your Coyotes host new Pacific Division rivals, the Vancouver Canucks, next Tuesday at 7. Tickets are available for that one. Get yours tonight at PhoenixCoyotes.com or 480-563-PUCK. Don't look now, but the Vancouver Canucks, 19 points, just 2 back of San Jose, and they had a great run on the road. I believe they went 5-0-1 on their recent road trip before their game last night at home against Washington.
The other thing is, too, about the Coyotes, 16 points going into this one. Man, would they ever love to be up to that 18-point mark. But you look at the miles that they've traveled, the schedule that they've already had, and they haven't even played their best hockey, and they know it. They know they got away with a couple wins when they probably easily could have been losses, which sounds crazy because they weren't playing the right way. But they're finding ways to win. That's what good teams do, and tonight is an example of how they have to play.
Well, somebody is leaving that got hit with the puck. Good job of the team to get a towel over the glass.
Yeah, he's giving him the old thumbs up as he goes up the aisle, up the stairs. He's leaking.
And that one nearly, if there hadn't been a net, might have picked him off going up the steps. 3-0 Coyotes.
Double whammy.
Back here in the third period, the Coyotes blanking the Kings, due a major part into Mike Smith and his performance here tonight. Jody Jackson with you from our pre- and post-game set, getting ready for our post-game show. Coyotes Live, presented by CenturyLink, and a lot to like about the Coyotes game right now. Their centermen continue to do a good job with faceoffs. Puck possession is big, but the goaltender, Mike Smith, I know Matt and Tyson, that was a topic that you talked about in the open tonight, and he's really stepped up.
He really has, Joe, no doubt about it. They needed him to step up his game. Been one goal every night. It's been a week one that he's wanted to have back, but he has been lights out in this one with 9:41 to go.
Yeah, early in this game, in the first half of the game, the Kings were doing a pretty good job of getting open looks and just point-blank shots on Smith.
He lets in one of those. It's a different hockey game. All of a sudden, it's 1-0 LA. They get energized. They're feeling good. Coyotes are chasing the game, but that's the save that Mike Smith wasn't making. But he did tonight, and it shows. What a difference. Also getting a lot of help in front of him as well. Those second and third opportunities, they haven't been there. The initial shot, that's for the goaltender. But the D and forwards or centerman, that support centerman, needs to clean up the garbage.
Taken away, Chipchura in front, Mealy. He got clubbed that time by Clifford.
From behind, no penalty. Turnover by LA.
Got nowhere to go as Derek Morris was controlling that near boards. Now played all the way back to center, and Kyle Chipchura feels it tonight with a Gordie Howe hat trick. A goal, an assist, and a fight, and he got run over that time by Clifford. That will be played out. And now a shot off netting, and we get a whistle. Yeah, the Kings do look a little bit out of sorts here tonight. A 3-0. Not a lot of pushback right now, and I'm sure the Coyotes are fine with that.
Yeah, absolutely fine with that. Daryl Sutter will not be happy with his hockey club. That is a unhappy face. That's a sad face right there.
By the way, that Chip Chura goal, and we're researching this right now, was from Moss and Neely. Finally, a goal in which the goal and both assists were scored by forwards. We're going to go back and see how far back that's been, because the defensemen have been factoring in so much in the scoring.
Tippett's all right with that, I can tell you that.
Absolutely.
Every one of the defensemen on the back end has contributed in a big way this year. Keith Yandel, 9 points. Derek Morris, 8 points. Oliver Ekman-Larsson with 6.
Muzzin sent on, stopped that time. Ekman-Larsson's going to look to clear it away. And just as soon as I ask, we receive. Statsman Russ says it was 9 goals ago in which the scoring forwards factored in all 3 potential points of a goal. So it's been a while. I mean, it just shows you how much the Coyotes defensemen have contributed to the score sheet.
And I apologize, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, 6 points in his last 5 games. 10 points on the season.
Regehr took a bump there from Klinkhammer. Klinkhammer is slow. Looks like he might have gotten locked up with Regehr.
Out of juice.
And now Morris will play it inside of his own zone. Back to center, Ribeiro. Play to the line, quick counter, however. Here comes Williams. Will pull-up move there. They get it down low, Voinov, and now Kopitar in behind the net. Into the corner, Williams hustles it down. Taken away by Verbata, can't get it out though. Kept there by Regehr. And it goes right to the glove of Mike Smith. And he holds on. Well, your next chance to get a Pepsi Saturday Night Family Pack is November the 9th. Coyotes are going to host Alex Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals at 6. For $99, you'll get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 Pepsis. You can purchase yours today at PhoenixCoyotes.com. By the way, no David Schlemko right now on the Coyotes bench. See if we can get an update on his status.
That's all they need is one more guy going down.
Doughty. That's kicked away by Smith. Doughty at the line and across for Muzzin. Wrist shot. I think Carcillo in front, I believe, and now that'll be moved out of there by Chip Chura. Wide open in front that time was Schwartz, but they can't get him the puck in front of the net, and it's turned the other way.
Also got to, sorry man, got to give Dave Tippett credit. Not many practice days. They had a practice day yesterday. That's a teaching day to really adjust with the schedule, the Olympic schedule. You don't get that many this year. So when you do, you really have to take advantage of those. And they obviously did, because things are a lot sharper here as far as systematic play goes.
Green in front, a shot that time, Nolan's. That's steered away by Smith. Clifford's shot, that went off dome. Mealy goes after it. There's some of that down low play in the defensive zone we've been talking about. And Klinkhammer will bring this one back and over the line as Clifford now will give chase. 6:08 remaining in the third period, and the Coyotes with a 3-0 lead here. Pollock will get it right back in, and now Willie Mitchell in behind the net. Doughty will skate it out for Los Angeles. And this play delayed offside as Stone will move it along. Puts it right back through center for Bodker. And offside are the Coyotes. Mike Smith, razor sharp tonight, including this one against Matt Green. Nothing Coyotes. Kyle Chipchura on the left, Andy Mealy on the right. They've been very, very good here tonight for the Coyotes. Multiple point games. Kyle Chipchura with the Gordie Howe hat-trick. They've been a good duo. What are some of the best duos in the NHL? Well, 32% of you said the Sedin twins. That is our winner on tonight's Taco Bell text poll. Stamkos and Marty St. Louis, a second place, very close second place finish at 31%. Not so sure if we're ready to go with the Chipchura Mealy in that list, but they've been very good here tonight.
At least we grill the McConnell Nash.
Oh, help us.
Tandem. Oh,
that's a penalty coming up against the Coyotes, I believe, and finally we get the whistle. And
you can hear Shane Doan from here saying, come on, really? Let's see Williams go in pretty easily here. Again, it's about consistency. They've let a few of these go. Mealy got hammered in front in the slot. You'll see McCulloch just a little push there. Not a dirty player by any means, McCulloch. So the Coyotes on the kill here with 5:10 to go. Up 3-0.
Jeff Boarding at 14:50.
That says it all right there from Dave Tippett. I think when the refs review this game tape, they'll know they've been taken by the LA Kings. And this will come back to haunt the LA Kings. You embellish plays like that, you embarrass referees. They remember, they do not forget. They mark you down in a black book, I can guarantee you. I'm speaking from experience.
Vermette will send this one down the length of the ice. He'll go to the bench, replaced by Ribeiro. So Ribeiro out there with Moss, Morris, and Stone, killing off this Coyotes penalty. Doughty, a little pull-up move there. Williams on the right side with speed. Kopitar will feed Doughty out at the point, and now for Muzzin. Kopitar's going to have to chase this one down against Dave Moss. And Moss has been good here tonight. He got upended, no penalty. Fans wanted a call there. Now King down low to the front and cleared away this time. Ribeiro down the lane.
Good job by the Coyotes keeping their composure. They could have come unglued there after that non-call on Moss. Dave Tippett still giving it to the referee.
Yandel behind the net, tried to chip it to the front. Carcillo takes it away. Doughty with a shot. Stop that time. Smith got the rebound. Great sequence, Mike Smith, and a great game for number 41.
Yeah, Brown can't believe it, all alone in front of Mike Smith, and this puck comes right to him. Right there. Just can't get it up and over that glove of Mike Smith. There's the Doughty shot. A very rare rebound from Smith. He's been sucking up everything tonight.
Mitchell. Voinov. Blocked away that time. Moss. Now back out high and across it goes. Mitchell's shot wide. Down inside that right point for Jarrett Stoll. Stoll across, wide open, blocked out high. Mitchell now.
Save.
And now Stoll. Goes back out Voinov. Again, they work that left side. Stoll to Voinov. To the middle for Brown. Chipped away, but here's Stoll, and he scores. Jarrett Stoll gets a late one, the power play goal, which is 12 seconds left in the McCulloch penalty. And the Kings are on the board.
Well, Coyotes are hoping that won't inject some life into that LA Kings bench. It's been pretty lifeless up till this point. Carcillo doing a job in front of Mike Smith. Derek Morris coughs it up. I think Mike Smith thought that Carcillo might get a piece of this shot. And I'm not sure if he does, but it beats him just under the blocker. Stoll got all of that one, no doubt.
First of the season at 16:39. Dustin Brown will get an assist. New life here for the Los Angeles Kings. They trail 3-1.
Real big shift here for the Coyotes. To not allow LA to build any momentum.
Nolan took a bump there from Bodker. Puck deep inside the Kings zone. Muzzin back through center. Now Yandel trying to get it out, and he will as Ribeiro turns with it. Back to center for Verbata and in over the line as Scrivens will steer that aside. They add an assist too to Slava Voinov. Now Bodker back out high. For Ekman-Larsson.
Nice safe play there by Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
Bodker will get it deep. Verbata in there as well.
It's a real good example there of his maturity. Oliver Ekman-Larsson not trying to create anything at that point, making sure it gets in deep.
And this faceoff will be brought back to the neutral zone as it goes off netting. So the Kings' goal stole his first from Brown and Voinov at 16:39 on the power play.
Stole his first of the season, I believe. Last time we played the LA Kings, not one centerman had scored a goal yet this year in 10 games. And all of a sudden, all of them almost have.
Flipped out of there by Antoine Vermette. Klinkhammer backing over the line. Good battle there on the end boards with Voinov. Under 2 minutes remaining now in the third period of play. Doan in there too, mucking it up before it's taken away and out of the zone. Carcillo at center. Now Doan angling off Stoll. Good battle there.
All over him like a cheap suit there.
And Yandel sends one in from center red. Willie Mitchell will turn, and the Kings will look to bring it up. Scrivens taking a peek at the bench. They're down by 2, are the Kings, as the puck is sent deep. From behind the net, Ekman-Larsson. Williams falls down on the play. They get a shot away and a stop that time by Smith. And it's cleared all the way back. Here's a chance, Chipchura. Chipchura to the front. Couldn't put it home.
Oh, what a play there by Scrivens to recognize that play. Broken play. Chipchura would have got to that loose puck.
McCulloch will get it out. Back to center, Ribeiro. And now Chipchura with it. Brings it back and over the line for Moss. Moss shot on and a stop by Scrivens.
About foot races tonight, Matt. And Coyotes have won more than their share in this hockey game. Look at the foot race there. Good instincts by Chipchura. Muzzin. A little triple Lutz there. A little poke check there by Scrivens, though. Kyle Chipchura off the board for the second time in this hockey game.
Antoine Vermette will take the face-off against Mike Richards. 58.9 remaining in the third. 3-1 Coyotes. Trying to even the season series with the Los Angeles Kings at a game apiece. Klinkhammer behind the net. He'll play it to the corner. Doan down low as well. And he reverses it behind the net. Antoine Vermette is there, but he got picked by Richards. And now McCulloch trying to advance it. Gets it out of the zone. Here's Vermette. They're trying to get Scrivens off the ice. Took a peek there. Now Doughty will set it up with 25 to go. Crowd starting to rise to its feet here as Scrivens heads to the bench. Knocked away by Vermette, and he chips it up ice. Nearly too many men.
Oh, it has to be.
Well, Dustin Brown has it. What a win this is going to be for the Phoenix Coyotes. As the puck is played all the way back in, Smith will steer it around, and that is it. The Coyotes are now 5-0-1 on home ice, and they jump 2 points ahead of the Los Angeles Kings and keep pace in the Pacific Division, Tyson.
Unbelievable game by the Coyotes. I'll tell you what, looking at their roster before this hockey game, the players that they were missing. Martin Hanzal, 2-game suspension. No Klesla, no Korpikoski, no Halpern. Doesn't matter. They come out, a gutsy effort. I thought the new kids up for Portland were outstanding. Kyle Chipchura with one heck of a game, and Mike Smith between the pipes had the game that he needed to have, his best of the season.
41 saves for Mike Smith and a 3-1 the Coyotes win.